Right now, you are sitting in a room built on paved ground. Under your feet is soil that has been quiet for centuries. But your ancestors were never quiet. They walked. They ran. They crossed mountains of ice. They built rafts of reed. And they did it all without a map. How did we get everywhere? 70,000 years ago, a tiny band of humans left Africa. The planet was locked in a brutal ice age. The oceans were 300 feet lower than they are today. Land bridges existed where deep water flows now. Modern DNA shows we all came from that one small group. They were not running away. They were following the food. Herds of mammoths moved north. Humans followed close behind. We think of ancient travel as a slow crawl. In reality, it was a rapid sprint. Within 20,000 years, we reached Australia. Think about that distance. Australia has been an island for millions of years. There was never a land bridge to reach it. To get there, humans had to cross 60 miles of open ocean. How did they know anything was out there? Perhaps they saw smoke on the horizon. Perhaps they saw migratory birds flying south. Or perhaps they just looked at the sea and wondered. They built bamboo rafts. They tied them with vines. They pushed off into the dark water. And they landed. This was not a one-time accident. It was a planned invasion. Archaeologists found tools in northern Australia dating back 65,000 years. The people who made them were masters of the sea. But the greatest voyage was yet to come. The Pacific Ocean covers 1/3 of the Earth. It is larger than all land masses combined. Yet, every single habitable island was settled. How is that possible? For centuries, Western historians assumed it was luck. They thought ancient sailors just got lost in storms. They called them accidental drifters. But the science says otherwise. Researcher Alvaro Montenegro built a computer model of Pacific winds. He simulated thousands of drift voyages. Almost all of them ended in death at sea. You cannot colonize the Pacific by accident. The ancient navigators were sailing against the wind on purpose. Why would they sail into the wind? If you sail with the wind, you cannot get back home. If you sail against the wind, you can always turn around. It was a fail-safe safety feature. They only went forward because they knew they could return. Their vessels were double-hulled canoes. They called them voyaging canoes. They were lashed together with coconut fiber. They could carry 80 people. They carried pigs, dogs, and chickens. They carried live plants and baskets of soil. They were floating ecosystems. But they had no compass. They had no astrolabe. How did they find a speck of land in a desert of water? They looked up. The stars were their highway. They knew the zenith stars for every island. A zenith star shines directly overhead at a specific latitude. If you sail until the star is directly above you, you are home. They memorized star paths like street maps. But what if the sky was cloudy? They read the ocean itself. They felt the swells. Waves bounce off distant islands. The bouncing waves create unique interference patterns. A master navigator could feel these patterns through the hull. They lay down in the canoe to feel the rhythm of the sea. They could tell a storm was coming days before it arrived. They also watched the birds. The white tern flies out to fish in the morning. It returns to land at night. If you see a tern at dusk, follow it. It will lead you straight to land. They also watched the clouds. A green tint under a cloud means a lagoon is below. They read the water color. They smelled the air for wet soil. In 1976, a man named Pielug proved this was real. He sailed a replica canoe from Hawaii to Tahiti. The distance was 2,500 miles. He used no modern instruments. He navigated purely by the ancient ways. He made it in 30 days. The world was stunned. The ancient methods were not myths. They were highly precise science. But what about the cold? How did humans cross the Arctic to reach America? Around 20,000 years ago, the Bering Land Bridge emerged. It was a massive plain connecting Siberia and Alaska. It was not a narrow bridge. It was 1,000 miles wide. It was called Beringia. Humans lived there for generations. They hunted mammoths and bison. The glaciers blocked their path south. They were trapped in the far north. Then, the ice began to melt. An ice-free corridor opened between two giant ice sheets. Humans walked down. But new evidence suggests another path. The Kelp Highway. Ancient humans did not just walk. They paddled boats along the Pacific coast. The coast was rich with kelp forests. These forests were full of fish, seals, and sea urchins. It was an endless buffet. They moved fast. They reached the tip of South America in just a few thousand years. Archaeologists found sites in Chile that are 14,000 years old. This is older than the ice-free corridor. The boats got them there first. We have always been explorers. We did not build fences, that we built paths. Every mountain was a challenge. Every ocean was a doorway. We carried our families. We carried our seeds. We carried our stories. Today, we sit in our comfortable rooms. We look at screens. We think we have conquered the world. But we did not conquer it. We just paved over the paths they walked. The same blood flows in your veins. The blood of the travelers. The blood of the starfinders. The blood of the storm riders. They looked at the horizon. They did not see an end. They saw a beginning. Perhaps we should look up from our screens. Perhaps we should look at the stars again. The path is still there. We just forgot how to read it.